Hello students. So in the chapter pollution of air and water, today we'll study sources of water pollution. So a little bit we have discussed and now in this lecture we will discuss elaborately. First thing, that is the key causative of water pollution in India are urbanization. So let me take the pointer first. So first thing, that is the urbanization. Okay, and is our next is our deforestation. So urbanization, it is the process through which cities grow and higher higher percentage of the population comes to live in the city, because there is some employment in the city, and due to the hazards in the city, that is little bit less amount. So that's why urbanization, we are doing the urbanization. That means we are trying to build up the buildings to live the people, and we are trying to make the buildings. So whenever we are trying to make the buildings, at that time there will be some dust, and this will be the main pollutants. So urbanization, this is a cause. Deforestation, because if you want the urbanization, it is very obvious that where I have to grow the city, or where the city expansion, due to the city expansion, we require the deforestation. Then industrial affluence. So if you require the city, if you have huge population, so all the population according to their we have to establish the industry. Another thing, the need is not only the need of commodities, need of the employment also. Social and religious practices. Here you can know that there are some social and religious practices where the different types of flowers you are just giving to your goddess, and here you can see that after 1 day or 2 days you are just throwing all this or dumping all this in the water. So that is also the religious practices. These are also responsible for the water pollution. Okay, and use of detergents and fertilizers. So it has been seen that the fertilizers, whenever we are using in the crop field, there the fertilizers with the rainwater, it will go to the river or other water bodies and pollute this water bodies. And detergents also, some detergents we have where we have the phosphates. So that will also, if detergent water that is going to the water bodies like river, like seas and lakes, the ponds, like this, when using the sewage system. So the use of detergents and fertilizers also, that is a cause of the pollution. And agricultural runoff, use of insecticides and pesticides. Now in most of the pesticides and insecticides we have the phosphate also, that is very dangerous for the pollution of water. So that will cause the water pollution. Okay, now, the water pollution, this is called a modern epidemic. This is a modern epidemic. And the dumped plastic bottles. We are using plastic bottles, tins, water cans, and other waste pollute the water bodies. And we are dumping these plastic bottles, tins, water cans. I will show you some pictures that what we are doing. And these things, that will, these things just, it will harm the, it will harm the human also, but the whole ecosystem will be affected. So whole ecosystem will be affected, because the marine life will be affected and their predators, they are affected, and the main predator is the human, because we are taking the fish, we are taking so many, we are living on the water, so that the total ecosystem will be suffered due to the water pollution. So this is the main problem of the water pollution. Now, the toxins drained from these pollutants travel up to the food chain and eventually affect the humans. So, first you know that the toxins, due to the toxicity, you know that we are suffering from a lot of problems, and the outcome that is destructive to only the local population and species, but it can have an impact, it can have an impact on the global scale too. So the water pollution that we are just suffering a lot due to the water pollution, and the main causes of the water pollution, that is the another cause may be global warming, deforestation, already we have written, industry, agricultural, and livestock farming and rubbish and fecal water dumping, maritime traffic, and fuel spillages. These are the several problems due to the water, this cause of the water pollution. Okay, so here we can see that another thing, that is the sewage water or wastewater. That is also the thing, the waste from the households, factories, agricultural land that gets discharged into the rivers and lakes. And also oil pollution, this one is a cause. Acid rain, that is another cause. And different diseases, also this is a cause. And eutrophication, obviously this is a cause. Okay. Now, nearly 6 billion kilogram of garbage is dumped every year in the oceans. 6 billion. Can you imagine the 6 billion of kilogram, that is kg, 6 billion kg of garbage we are dumping. And apart from this, industrial effluents and untreated sewage, these will also dump to the water bodies. And nuclear waste to oil spills here, that also you can see that that will be mixed with the water bodies, and that is the main problem where that will affect our human being also. So if the effects, you can see that there are so many diseases will be there, that is the water, due to water, typhoid, cholera, hepatitis, and various other diseases also we have, and we have to stop the water pollution anyway. Now, effects of water pollution. The effect of water pollution depend on the pollutants and the concentration of the pollutants. So, first thing is that the level of pollution, that is very, very important. If it is extremely polluted, then you can see that if you are dumping the garbages, the toxic chemicals from the industries, that will come. At that time, there is a lot of effects on our life. Water pollution drastically affects the aquatic life. It affects their metabolism, behavior, and causes the illness, eventually death. And dioxin is a chemical that causes a lot of problems, from the reproduction to uncontrolled cell growth or cancer. And this chemical is a bioaccumulated in fish, chicken, meat. And chemicals such as travel up to the food chain, that means ultimately it is coming to our human being. So this effect is very drastic effect, and drastically it affects the aquatic life. Dioxin, this is a chemical that causes a lot of problem. So we have to think about this. The effect of water pollution can be huge in the food chain. It disrupts the food chain. Cadmium and lead are some toxic substances. So toxic substances, cadmium and lead, these substances, these pollutants, whenever entering in the food chain of the through the animals, and can continue to the disrupt the higher levels also. Higher levels also. Okay. And humans are infected by the pollution, and poor drinking water treatment, unfit water can always cause some infectious diseases, and the ecosystem can be critically affected. So the way we have to think about the prevention procedure. We have to think about the prevention procedure. So ecosystems are extremely that will be disrupted. Now, Minamata incident. In 1932, a factory of Minamata city, Japan, began dumping its industrial effluent, methyl mercury. Already I have told this one. So into the surrounding bay and the sea. And methyl mercury is incredibly toxic to humans and animals alike, and causing a wide range of neurological disorders. And it happens in such a way that it takes so many decades. That means after so many decades, the humans, those are affected by the neurological disorders and mental disability also. So this effect that immediately noticeable, but they were not able to find out the reason. After so many researches, it has been invented that it has been noticed that yes, methyl mercury. This is the chemical, the methyl mercury. This is the chemical that is responsible for all these problems, and this methyl mercury that started to bioaccumulate inside the shellfish and fish in the Minamata Bay. And it affected the organism, were then caught and consumed by the local population, and it affects the methyl mercury were becoming apparent. So methyl mercury, it was the main thing that is behind the neurological disorders of a huge population of Japan. So the animals such as cat, dogs were affected first. Then cities cats would often convulse and make strange noises before dying. Hence the term dancing cat disease was coined. And the same symptoms were observed in people. And though the cause was not apparently at the time. Okay. So this was happened, and other affected people showed symptoms of acute mercury poisoning, such as ataxia and muscle weakness, loss of motor coordination, damage to speech, hearing. So there are so many paralysis, so many, and some of the people they have gone to coma and death also. So huge effects were there due to the mercury. And this disease and death continued for almost 36 years. Can you imagine? Once only the methyl mercury that has been mixed with the water, and here the effects that last for 36 years before they could be officially acknowledged the government and organization. And since then, various control measures have been taken by the government of Japan to curb the environmental disasters in the future. Okay. Now the pollution of Ganga. So now we have a project on the Ganges, and here you can see that this is a holy river, and the due to this term holy river, all the flowers and all the garlands, all those things we are dumping in the Ganga, and all the idols also we are dumping we in the Ganga. And you can see that so many plastics here we are dumping here, so many plastics. So river Ganga is the sixth most polluted river in the world. Sixth most polluted river in the world. Sixth most polluted river in the world. So there you, that means you can see that the Ganga pollution case here, the Ganga action plan was started. The Ganga action plan was started in 1986 for control of water pollution in the river Ganga. But till now it is polluted. This is the unfortunate thing. Till now it is also polluted. And here you can see that the main problem is that the still we are not aware of the problems what can be there. The main function of this plan was to make the Ganga river free from pollution from the disposal of waste from the cities settled on the banks of the river. And the plan was to make the Ganga pollution free from Rishikesh to Kolkata. So the main plan just to make the Ganga pollution free, pollution free from Rishikesh to Kolkata. That means from source to our this the after Kolkata it will just drop to the Bay of Bengal. So the main cause of water pollution in the Ganga river are the disposal of human sewage, animal waste, increasing pollution density, and disposal of industrial waste in the river. So these are the main problem. And is Ganga clean now in 2022? No. Till now, we can see that the water quality of the Ganga is assessed as per the primary water quality standard, but we have seen that it is not totally unpolluted. Okay. So here, uh, you can see that there are very dirty at Varanasi, that polluted river on the planet. It is sixth polluted, most polluted river on the planet. And experts estimate that more than 792 million gallons of untreated sewage from these towns is pumped into the river every day and making the river most polluted. And here the bacteria counts many hundreds of times above what is considered safe to bath also. So now we can drink the Ganga water? No, we cannot drink the Ganga water. It is not fit to drink also. And why the Ganga water is green? Here you can see that the environmental pollution, due to that the algae, huge amount of algae, due to that the Ganga water is green. Okay. So religious activities as burials, cremations, you can see in the Kashi and Varanasi at the shore contribute the pollution. The river poses a serious health risk and it can cause disease like typhoid and cholera. Like typhoid and cholera. So can we carry Ganga water in that is the can we carry the Ganga water? Yes, we can carry, but you can see that it is not fit to drink. So is Ganga river safe? The Ganga river water absolutely unfit for direct drinking. Only 7 spots from where it passes can be consumed after disinfection. Okay. So pollution of the Ganga is also driving some of the distinct fauna to extinction. And the Ganga river shark is a critically endangered species that belong to the order of Carcharodontiformes. And the Ganga river dolphin is another endangered species of dolphin that is found in the tributaries of Gangas and Brahmaputra rivers. So this is the situation now. Now, as per the survey at the end of the 2026, around 4 billion people will face a shortage of water. Presently, 1.2 billion people worldwide do not have access to clean, potable water and proper sanitation. So, around 2026, 4 billion people, they will face the problem of shortage of water. And it is also projected that nearly 1,000 children die every year in India due to the water related issues. And groundwater, that is also important source of water, but unfortunately it is also susceptible to pollution. And water pollution is quite an important social issue that needs to be addressed promptly. So we should be aware of the water pollution. We should be aware of the water pollution until unless we cannot survive in this society. We cannot survive in this society. Now, a little bit question answer. Let's do it. Okay. What happens during eutrophication? So, eutrophication is the mechanism by which the lakes obtain nutrients, that is phosphorus and nitrogen, and sediments from the surrounding watershed and become more abundant and shallow. The additional nutrients are foods for algae and fish, and the more eutrophic a lake is, the more it sustains living organisms. Okay. Next question. What is eutrophication? So eutrophication is the process in which the water body becomes overly enriched with nutrients leading to an increase in the production of algae and macrophytes. It deteriorates the water quality and depletes the just a minute depletes the dissolved oxygen of water bodies. Okay. Now, what are the causes of eutrophication? Eutrophication occurs when the water body becomes overly enriched with nutrients, various factors like excessive use of fertilizers, untreated sewage, usage of detergents containing phosphorus and industrial discharge of waste may contribute to eutrophication. Okay. What are the different types of eutrophication? Based on the root case of eutrophication, we can classify eutrophication into two types, namely anthropogenic eutrophication and natural eutrophication. Okay. Next, what is natural eutrophication? Natural eutrophication is a type of eutrophication leading to the over enrichment of nutrients in the water bodies due to natural events like flood, and it is slower than anthropogenic eutrophication. Okay. Next is, what are the ecological effect of eutrophication? Eutrophication occurs when the water body becomes overly enriched with nutrients, and it may lead to depletion of dissolved oxygen, decreased biodiversity, water intoxication, and invasion of new species. Okay. Now, different uh, control or measures of water pollution. So water pollution, to a large extent, we can do different procedure, different steps we can take. Let me change the ink color first. Okay. Avoid the hard-scaped surfaces. Pick up after pets. Don't put non-degradable products down your toilet or sink. Reduce pesticide use. Conserve water. Plant trees. Install water efficient appliances. Reduce plastic consumption. So water pollution to a larger extent can be controlled by by applying so many methods. First thing, rather releasing the sewage waste into water, it is better to treat them before discharge. And we can reduce the initial toxicity, and the remaining substance can be degraded and rendered harmless by the water body itself. And secondary treatment of the water, that can be carried out, and then with this can be reused in sanitary systems and agricultural fields. So first thing, that is the we should avoid hardscaped surfaces, and we should not put non-biodegradable or non-degradable products. We should reduce the use of pesticides, and we should plant trees so the erosion will be less, and we should plastic reduce the consumption plastic consumption and usage. So no plastic, no plastic, because it will increase the toxicity of the water. So we should follow these steps to reduce the water pollution or to control the measure. These are the control measures of water pollution. Now, a very special plant, that is water hyacinth, that can absorb dissolved toxic chemicals such as cadmium and other such plants. So these are the plants, these are the plants, you can see these are the plants that can be implanted, and this can be planted, and establishing this in regions prone to such kinds of pollutants will reduce the adverse effect to a large extent. So it will reduce the adverse effect of in the large extent. So the toxic chemicals, that is the cadmium and other such elements, that it will absorb. So this plant, the water hyacinth, so this plant absorbs the toxic elements. Okay, and so in this way we can, if we plant this type of plants, at that time we can save the water. Now reverse osmosis, this is another method using which we can reduce the water pollution. So here this is a chemical method that helps in the control of water pollution and the precipitation and the ion exchange process. So reverse osmosis and coagulation. So the reusing, reducing, recycling, the 3 R's. These, wherever possible, will advance a long way in overcoming the effects of water pollution. Here you can see that some salted water you have here, and with a very high pressure there is a membrane here. We are just passing this salted water, and we can get the fresh water here. We can get the fresh water here. So the salted water, and there is a membrane we are using, and through this membrane we are passing the salt molecules so that you can get the fresh water. So reverse osmosis, this is another method that we can use to purify the water. Now, what is sewage system? What is sewage system? So already we know a lot of things during like the water pollution and how we can treat all these things. So what is sewage system? Let me change the pointer color first. Here the wastewater treatment or sewage treatment generally refers to the process of cleaning or removing all pollutants and treating wastewater and making it safe and suitable for drinking before releasing it into the environment. Okay. Next, what are the main steps in sewage system? There are 4 stages of the wastewater treatment process, namely stage 1, that is screening, stage 2, that is primary treatment, stage 3, that is secondary treatment, stage 4, final treatment. Now, what are the main causes of water pollution? The main causes of water pollution are attributed to number 1, industrial activities, number 2, urbanization, number 3, religious and social practices, number 4, agricultural runoff, number 5, accidents such as oil spills, nuclear fallouts, etc. Okay. Now, what are the effects of water pollution? Water pollution can have disastrous consequences on the ecosystem. Furthermore, toxic chemicals can travel through the food chain and get into our bodies and causing diseases and death. Okay, so this much for today. Thank you all. Thank you.